Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name, as always, is Bloodstained Wings, and today we're going back to what we usually do. We're gonna do a painting, and we're gonna do a galaxy painting, because you can never have enough galaxy paintings. To spice it up a little bit, I did actually try to make it a self-portrait. Now this is my first self-portrait, so please go easy on me. But here she is, my first self-portrait. Now, I did do a whole recording of the video and then afterwards realized the face was way too green and came back and added a bunch of yellow to make it much more skin tone-esque, but it's still very green. And that's okay because it is still rainbowy, so I'm okay with it, I think, for now. Hopefully you guys agree that it's okay, and I'm gonna make it my Patreon reward for this month. So if you would like one of these as a Patreon reward, please feel free to follow the links in the description below. If you want to see how I did this, please stay tuned for more on that. And yes, I am wearing another dinosaur dress. Okay, so in order to do this as a self-portrait, the first thing you need to do is take a selfie of yourself that you don't absolutely hate. I didn't absolutely hate this picture of myself, and so I drew it out in pencil on my canvas paper, and then I did a little gessoing. You can see there is a mild gradient going down into the bottom here. This is supposed to be like completely black, going up into like colorful stuff. And I find it very difficult to do a gradient with gesso. Maybe that's just me, but it could also be that I don't use white at all. I just use straight black and then kind of like try to fade it. But anyways, that's what I've got going on. I'm going to start by putting some white up in the sky area, let's call it, yeah. And then I will be adding color as we get closer to the bottom. And I really hope that this turns out. I know that, I know you guys have already seen it, but once again, I have not, because I have not yet painted it. That's how this works, folks. That's how this works. Okay, so we've got the white, which is good. I'm gonna start with yellow. And what I'm gonna do is like yellow and then like green here. I don't know, maybe I won't. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, that sounds like a bad idea. Maybe I'll just play with it and then we'll see what happens. And everything will be fine. Maybe we'll just make it like really weird and funky and cool, because that sounds good. I like weird and cool and funky, so I don't think I want a green face is what I'm trying to say. But I do want blue and purple in the hair, because that's gonna help to make it look really, really dark. So, and you have to start with yellow, because yellow is the least pigmented of the colors that I have. So we're gonna have a yellow forehead. That's what I've decided. Okay, yellow, great start to everything. And we're just going to blend it so that it looks as even as possible for our random decision of this. I am now going to switch to red. And I'm gonna put the red in the corner. I kind of want to have like a galaxy-esque feel to the whole thing, so I am gonna be blending the heck out of everything here, like so much so. Everything is going to be blended, so we're gonna start with that, but I'm going to immediately switch to a different brush to join these together. Now the last painting video that I did, I sped up through all of the actual painting part and just talked over it. What did you guys think about that? I would love to hear your feedback in regards to that, because I don't normally do that, but I was very, very impatient when I was, when I was editing. I And so I just was like, get this done. Stop taking your time. Like, let's get this painting done. So what are your feelings in that regard? I'm genuinely really interested to know, because I think that is very different from what I usually do. So yeah, would be interested in knowing your thoughts and feelings in that regard. Okay, I'm gonna switch to green. Okay, green. Gonna have green lips, apparently. And a mostly green face, even though I literally said, I don't really want to have a green face, but that's where we're going with this. That's how this is happening. Are we now blending? We are now blending. I don't like this brush for blending. We're gonna switch back to the red one, or we're gonna try to clean it-esque, clean it-ish, clean it kind of. Yeah, that works. And then we can come in with the blues and the purple and make everything darker and transition better. Because it's much easier to blend with oils than it is with not oils. That's what I have to say. I think one of the reasons I like oils so much is because they are just so extremely blendable. Like, you can just pull it around for basically ever, which is great. And you can go back and forth between like colors so that you can like change them so that they can have different tones, and you can just do that for like ever because they take forever to dry. I know that I make these videos make it look like, oh yes, and then you have a finished painting a half hour later. But in actuality, it takes many, 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 many days for it to dry. I use the Goop, which is the Neo Maglip from Gamblin, and I use that on all of my paintings to help them dry faster, so that they dry within 2 weeks. Otherwise, they would take even longer to dry. There we go. That looks really bad. Perfect. That's what we're looking for, is really bad. All right, let's get the Prussian blue in here because I think that's gonna make a big difference. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Prussian blue is one of the like really, really dark, intense colors. And it is, yes, it is very, very strong when it comes to covering up other colors and everything. So you have to be really careful with it because it can run away from you very, very quickly. Much like Stylo Blue can, in fact. All of the blues that I have used for oil paints are extremely pigmented. Just a heads up that that's how the blues are for me. Just gonna go ahead and blend this. I'm hoping to have a little bit of purple in that corner, but we'll see how that goes. As you can see, the blue is already taking over. I didn't even mean for it to take over that much, but you know, we're just gonna have a lot of blue, and that's okay. Cause I'm blue, da boo dee da boo da, da boo dee da boo da. Also, I wanted this to be a rainbow, so rainbow it is. I really do like this blue, but it is absolutely dominating the entire painting at the bottom here, and It's making me very scared that we're losing a lot of the details in the face, so I'm going to try to ease off of it a little bit. See if I can't make sure that it does not cover the face too much. I can bring back some of the lightness of the face in with some white, so I can do that. That can happen. Just gonna go ahead and try right now to lighten up a little bit of the face. Obviously it's going to have the blue still in it, but it will hopefully be a little bit of a blend between them, and we can have a little bit of a highlight there, I guess, ish, maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to not fuck this up, but you know what's okay? It's okay if we fuck it up. How's that? How's that feel? Okay, I think I need to lighten up the neck area a little bit as well, just to like make sure that you know there is a neck under here. Obviously there is darkness because of shadows, but hopefully we get a little bit of lightness through there. Yes, okay, good. Good, okay, progress. Try to see if I can get maybe a little highlight through there, and then maybe we can blend it out and have something that makes sense. Okay, progress. We have in fact lost almost all of the green that was there, but I mean, does anybody really need green? I don't know. Maybe we'll try to grab some more green and put some green in and blend that out, so that there is a tiny bit of green that still exists. It was like a much different green, and now it is like the emerald green, but it is just taking over and looking really bad. Excellent! That's what we love to see. We love that. I'm just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going, and you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I'll have a painting that I like at the end. I guarantee nothing. How's that? Whoa! Well, now those exist, and that's that. Isn't that great? Actually, while I have this, I should do the highlights in yellow that are up here on the hair. I am going to blend this out, and hopefully I'm not going to ruin everything with my blending out. We shall see. see if maybe we can use this brush to blend out the yellow. Yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too quick to hate on this painting, but I definitely already hate on this painting like a lot. So I don't want to touch that. I don't want to touch any of this. I already hate it. So, you know, that's a great thing. I'd like to point out, I did actually not like this painting before I started this recording session, I guess we'll call it. I was already like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we can save it with paint. So that's the point that we're at right now. We are trying to save it with paint and see if maybe we can save it with paint. Well, that blend looks better, so that's good. Maybe if I grab a little bit of the yellow ochre and I come back in here with some of the yellow ochre. Maybe. Well, the hair looks better, so that's good. We're making a little bit of progress, and that is important. A little bit at a time. And of course, if I don't like this area here, I can just cover it in blue and make the whole thing more blue. And that's fine also. It is supposed to be a galaxy at the end of the day, so. There we go. I made that mistake into an adventure. And after all, that's what painting is all about. There we go. Yeah. Well, that looks really good. Maybe I just like it in the dark color and I should just make it all in the dark colors, because I like the dark colors. They're looking great. Is this supposed to like fully follow contours for a face and like hair and stuff? Probably. Am I just gonna make it galaxy light? Also probably. Yes. I am liking everything that is blue right now. That looks really good. Solidly in the category of this is good, this we're meh about, and this I really don't like at all. Maybe, just maybe, I can change it. And by that I mean I can absolutely change it. I have the ability to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this part red, coming in like this, really aggressively. Make this a purple when I get there. And then make the purple up here, where it already has some of the red. Basically what I'm trying to say is I'm going to get rid of a lot of the yellow. I'm still going to keep the yellow on the hair, but I think that minimizing the yellow in the background is going to be for the best. So we are going to do that. Now we can make a purple. Just actually going to mix the purple because, well, Prussian blue has a tendency to take over, so I'm gonna mix it with hopes that it'll still turn out purple. A little bit more of that. There we go. It's a nice purple color. It is also very dark, which is immediately going to, take over just because it's so dark, but that's okay. We can blend this out with the red, and then that will look better once I have everything blended. So what we need to do is clean a brush and then dry a brush, because this brush has a lot of blue in it and we don't want it to have blue. But it is my favorite brush to blend with, so. Now I am using an odorless paint thinner to clean my brushes. It is an environmentally friendly one, apparently. And that is the one that I choose to use. Does that mean that you have to use that one? No, you can use turpentine if you really want to. But please keep in mind that if you do, well, I mean, even if you use this one, you should do it in a well-ventilated spot. Because these fumes can be very toxic. So just be very careful, keep in mind your health, your safety, all that kind of stuff. I hope that you guys are having a lovely summer so far. I know I am. I've actually gotten a few more chances this year to hang out with my family than I usually do, which has been really, really nice. And I like that. I like hanging out with my family. If my family is watching, hello. Yes, I've confirmed I like hanging out with you. Blah. Make fun of me later. Alright, so now we have a little bit more rainbow and a lot more darkness. I want more darkness than this. If this is good, because it's so heavily dark at the bottom. Maybe it just needs to be more pastel, and that's my problem, is that it's so dark at the top, and I wanted it to be light at the top so that we could have this contrast between the light and the dark. So maybe if I just grab enough white and go over it, that it will be good. Like maybe this part here just needs more white. It needs to be more white. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try everything. Because why not? I mean, at this point, I didn't really like it anyways, so I might as well just go ham into the I don't like it category. And maybe, eventually, I'll like it. Who knows? Maybe this just needed some, like, purple clouds in it, because that looks really good. So, let's just see about adding some purple clouds. Why not? Hang on, what color is this? A little too blue. Alright. Grab some more white. Grab a little bit of purple on it. And then just kind of float some purple clouds through here. And maybe, just maybe, that's what I needed it to do. You never really know until you start trying to do things, so. Because I do like that. I think it contrasts really nice with the like orangey purpley color, and it's giving that like galaxy cloud thing that I wanted to happen anyways. So, you know what? We're gonna keep going with our making the galaxies happen. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. Bob Ross used to say that you can paint a cloud with any brush, and I'm starting to believe I'm painting these clouds with a flat brush, like a Phillips brush, and they look good. So I definitely thought at one point in my life I would only ever paint clouds with a fan brush. And boy, was I wrong. You can absolutely paint brushes or paint clouds with just about anything. Who knew? Well, I guess Bob Ross knew. But who knew that I would change my mind? That's really the point right there. Oh, that ended up upside down. Great. We have an upside down cloud. Ooh, fancy. A fancy upside down cloud. There we go. Yeah, all right. I like that. We have fixed the sky so that the sky now looks good. I'm gonna try and do the same thing in the yellow section, but have kind of like a peachy color, hopefully. There we go. Too dark? Maybe it's okay, who knows? And then we'll use our brush. And we're just gonna blend things out. You know what? I'm gonna try to see about doing it white. Okay, we're gonna see about doing like a little like white layer maybe. Maybe blending that out with something that hopefully doesn't have a bunch of other colors on it. That looks pretty okay. All right, so now we need like a yellowy one. We need a yellowy one. Okay. We need the yellowy one to be blending in the green area so that we have that blend between the green and the yellow. Yes, okay. Things are starting to make a little bit more sense, which is great. See, apparently I just needed to start building the clouds, and then everything starts making sense. Add a little cloud in there. There we go. All right. Yes. Okay, good. Good. We love when things start to make sense. I'm gonna try to go back to that like purple-ish color. Now it's got a bunch of yellow in it, but that's okay. So we've got a peachy cloud down there, which is great. How many brushes can I keep in my hand at the same time? That's a great question. Thank you for asking. Apparently 4. Yeah, all right. Doesn't look as galaxy as some of my other galaxy stuff does, but it does give off a sky rainbow effect, which is a great place to start. Oh man, do I want to do things like shape my nose so that I have like a nose highlight? We're gonna see. Blending with your finger. Look, I has nose. Okay. Do I want brighter lips or do I want darker lips? That's a great question that I don't have an answer to. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, cheekbones. Good. I love having cheekbones. Maybe I want to have eyes too. That are like slightly whiter. That I have messed up and I will fill back in the darkness with dark things. Maybe I'll make them purple because I have purple and I like purple. And I've always wanted purple. You know what? If I do purple, why don't I do purple lips? Because I like purple and I think that sounds like a great idea. Even though I do kind of like this like weirdly ghostly look that's going on. It's kind of neat. But I'm gonna try and see about that dark purple. Huzzah! Dark purple eyes. And now we're gonna come in with those dark purple lips and see if that works. perhaps I should use a smaller brush. That is a great suggestion. It's almost like I should use a lip liner on my lips. Whoop. I actually naturally have a very pronounced peak. So, as much as this seems exaggerated in the painting for like a real person, it's not that exaggerated. It might be off perspective-wise, but this is in fact my first self-portrait that I've ever done. And only my second portrait that I've ever done. Well, I mean, if you count the Joker, then I've done 3 portraits, but one of my first YouTube videos was a Bob Ross portrait. Just in case anybody wants to know, that is out there somewhere. There is a Bob Ross portrait that I did with a palette knife, I'd like to point out. And it is not good, and that is okay. Yeah, eye shines. Okay, that's okay. That's not bad. We have a face, we have a sky that I like, that's good. I feel like this part here needs like much more brightness to like match with everything else again. Try and blend that out. See if we can't agree on a brightness level that this should be. Like, oh, she has a neck, right? Like, that's the idea here, that maybe I have a neck. But it disappears into the hair. I'm gonna just cut that hairline here so that it like comes back in. It definitely still gives the impression of that like the hair is here. Yep, that's what I wanted. So there's this like dark spot of everything happening. Yeah. Okay. I'm not angry with this. That's good. That's a great place to be. The next step is one of my favorite steps to do for a galaxy painting. We are going to dip our paintbrush in the paint thinner. So this is not goop, this is paint thinner. We are going to get our paint very, very thin, like dripping off the brush kind of thin, and mostly white. That's better in terms of color anyways. It's a little bit other colors as well, and that's okay. But we want to have like a very, very thin paint. And the idea behind this is that if we have the right consistency of paint on our paintbrush here, then we can use our palette knife and we can add stars to our galaxy. And obviously in some parts it's going to be much more visible, like down here. And some parts it's going to be much less visible, like through the hair and stuff, and the face. But the idea is to have it visible at all in some places, so that you have this, stars. And some places are going to gloop a little bit bigger, like up here we got a bigger gloop, and down here we got some bigger gloops, which is great. We want those bigger gloops, but also we like the fine mist as well. That works just as well. Yes, galaxies. So this is my first ever self-portrait. Ta-da! I did it in rainbows, galaxy rainbows. I hope you guys like it. I'm not sure that I do, but I think it's not bad. So there's that. It might be bad to me in like a week, but right now I think it's not bad. I am going to make this my Patreon reward for this month. So please, if you are on my Patreon, please don't judge me too harshly. But it is my first portrait that is of the self variety. I know a lot of people who do self-portraits take a lot more time to do a self-portrait. I also know a lot of people who, well, at least I know one person who does a self-portrait every year, and that is impressive as all heck. I don't think I could do a self-portrait every single year, because this process made me feel very self-conscious about my own face. I had to at some point stop imagining it being my face, and it's just a face in the sky. It's just a face in the sky, and then that way it's okay. Yeah, I do like the hair waves. They look like they're like curly, which is good. I feel like I am aggressively staring at you right now. Or at myself. So that's a fact. So, let's stop aggressively staring at ourselves, and let's say thank you very much to everyone who supports me on Patreon, as well as in real life and on my stream and on Twitch. So thank you so much, everyone, for supporting me. I very much appreciate you. It was at this moment that she realized she, in fact, did not like any of it, particularly the green face part, and then redid it off of YouTube recording. All I did was add a little bit of the yellow ochre and some white over the hair and face area, and whitened the eyes a little bit more so that they were also a little bit brighter, and now it looks like this. Please remember that you are loved, you deserve to be loved, and I will see you next month. Bye.